hit a new all-time high, 122,900 for Bitcoin. The news is just getting better and better. Price is going upwards, and even ETH is getting in on the action as well. But today started off here in the US, something called Crypto Week. And there's an important bill that's being kind of disputed between the Senate and the House of Representatives, specifically House of Representatives this week. And hopefully we can get some legislation passed that can only help crypto and make it even more of a valuable commodity here in the US. So let's get into that. I hope you're feeling good right now. Bitcoin is going, high and going to places. And even our favorite alts are starting to come up as well. And I think what I'm going to show you about ETH can pop off the alt as well. A lot of good things happening with crypto right now. Good time to be alive, guys. So let's get into it. Let's see what we got here. So Bitcoin hits all-time high. This needs to be updated. It should be 122.9. Some places say 123. A burst on CoinMarketCap, we hit close to 123 today. So here CNBC is saying that we traded above 123 at its peak on Monday. But what's being dubbed Crypto Week is the GENUIS Act bill that's being deliberated right now in the U.S. House of Representatives. And hopefully this passes. And if it does, it can establish federal guardrails for U.S. dollar-pegged stablecoins and create a pathway for private companies to issue digital dollars. That is going to change the game, folks. For the longest time, I've been, in this space, not too long, but for the last 3.5 years, and all my family members, even friends, whenever I mention crypto, give me the funny face, right? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just looking for a get-rich-quick scheme and all of that. I mean, that's not the case. There's a future in this. I'm a Gen X, and, generations younger than me, they're all about instant payment, fast, digital. They're not about the old school type of thing, way of doing things, gold, dollars, and everything like that. Everything is, hey, what's your Cash App? What's your this, and that? Crypto is appealing to that. It's all about speed and being digital, and it's the way of the future. And this right here is just adding credence to my theory of why I got into crypto in the first place. If this passes, it passed the Senate 2 weeks ago with flying colors. There's no issue. It's going to pass. It's just a matter of what version of this we're going to get. Things will go crazy here in the space. There's also something else being deliberated regarding CBDC and privacy and all of that. We know that the current president is not about CBDC, so we don't really have to worry about that. And that kind of ties into the stable coin, right? Something being pegged to the dollar. So we'll see what happens. Also, let's take a look at the market here. It's CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin is still chugging along, but ETH is over 3,000 and it's holding above 3,000, which is good. Even XRP got in on the mix, and XRP is coming up. This isn't true altcoin season yet, but it's nice to see, these little increases. Past 7 days, XRP is up almost 30%. Solana's up almost 10%. Doge is getting in on the action, almost up 19%. ADA, Cardano, almost up 30%. Not too long ago, ADA was in the 30 cents. Now it's up to 73 cents, so ADA is doing well. Hype, which is the new darling right now for perp trading and leverage and all of that, that's up 23%. SUI, one of my favorites, almost up to $4. For the past 7 days, SUI is up almost 37%, y'all. So the goodness is just getting better. And with all this bullish news, Bitcoin reaching all-time highs, and if this GENUIS Act passes, things are it's going to get wild. We just have to be patient. Just be patient, but you can see what's happening. And we look at coin shares this week. This is just measuring how much the ETFs had as far as inflows, these venture capitalists, what smart money, technically, what they've been buying. Institutions, what have they been buying? See, the week ending last Friday, Bitcoin took in an inflow of $2.7 billion. Billion, not million, billion. And that's translating into the price. Look at ETH. ETH is almost hitting $1 billion in inflows, 990 million to be exact. Solana, 92.6 million. XRP had an outflow of 104 million. I wonder why. Probably because they're taking the money out and reinvesting into probably Bitcoin, ETH, or Solana. My guess. ADA had an inflow of 500,000. Chainlink had an outflow of 500,000. So things are looking nice, y'all. And if we look at flows, just by looking at the country, we already see who the big dog is. It's the U.S. U.S. is up 3.7 billion, followed by Switzerland at 65.8. But this chart is telling. This chart is telling. And obviously, big dog Bitcoin's killing it. But looking at ETH here, could this be the spark plug for the altcoins? You know, Bitcoin's had its time in the sun. Chances are it's going to go up higher for sure due to the supply crunch and everybody buying and what I'm going to show you here shortly. But after that wanes and Bitcoin hits its all-time high and is not going up any further, at least not this cycle, can the money start flowing into the alts? And could ETH, the second biggest crypto by market cap, be the catalyst for that? That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. So if we look at the Bitcoin ETF flows, right, this is just looking at, they don't have today's data in, but looking at last Friday, looking at last week, look at the inflows. This is crazy. And most of it is IBIT, not to be surprised. BlackRock, that's who's been accumulating the most. These other ETFs are accumulating some, right? If you look at July 10th, you see that BlackRock had about 448 million and Fidelity had about 324 million. ARK had about 268 million. You know, they're in there. But if you look at who's consistent as far as over the millions, it's BlackRock. Just buying and buying and buying and buying. But I want to show you another ETF inflow, and that's going to be ETH. And I'll show you that a little later. But sticking with Bitcoin news, MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor doesn't care what the price is. The man company is just buying, buying, and buying. So when someone like this sees the price of Bitcoin over 100,000 and is still buying, you and me, who's not buying this much Bitcoin, whatever we can afford, we can't be in a corner saying, well, I'm going to wait until the price goes down to, 90,000, 80,000 to get in. He doesn't care what the price is currently because he knows where the price is going to be 5 years, 10 years from now. And that's the way you and I should be thinking, not financial advice. I'm just saying. So they acquired about 4,225 Bitcoin for a price of $472 million. And his average price per Bitcoin is $111,008.27. So again, the price is over 100,000. Now is not the time to think, well, let me wait for it to come down, wait for the bear market. What if it doesn't come down? What if the price goes up to 120, 130 and stays there and just keeps going higher? You can't predict the future. Just always be safe. This is a scarce asset. I'm going to continue to DCA into Bitcoin no matter what the price is. I'd rather do that than keep it in the savings account or some bond or whatever money market account. I'd rather have it in Bitcoin. So this is pretty telling. Also, we have Federal Reserve and U.S. regulators issue statements saying banks are allowed to custody Bitcoin and crypto. No. The reason we got into crypto is for this not to happen. God forbid something were to happen with you. You get into some trouble. You get, divorce, child support, whatever. Not to say you're not responsible and you shouldn't take care of your obligations, but you make that choice. Don't let someone just get into your account, because if it's banked and they have it, they can do whatever they want with it, right? And if it's FDIC insured, it's only insured up to a certain amount. So I would say no thank you to this. But you see that they're trying to get into it. They're trying to get into crypto. They know what's good. But that's why we custody and self-custody ourselves. We control our futures and our money. But I got a chuckle when I saw that. Also, Meta Planet, which seems to be the MicroStrategy of Japan, has acquired an additional 797 Bitcoin. To date, they have reached 16,352 Bitcoin. One of the hottest equities in the Japanese stock market, and it's all because of the Bitcoin strategy. Also, Arkham, multi-billionaire Bitcoin whale, just moved 2.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. So basically, they had about 8.6 billion of Bitcoin to this entity, they believe, moved 8.6 billion of Bitcoin to 8 new addresses. And they just moved the entire contents of all of those to consolidate them into one address. So we don't know if this is a company, if it's a country, if it's an oligarch, some rich oil tycoon. No one knows. But the point of me sharing this is to let you know that no one is selling. You would think Bitcoin hit 123, 122.9, whoever you ask, that it's time to let it go. They're not selling. And they're not selling. And the reason they're not selling is because the same reason this guy is still buying because they know where the price is going. So you just have a lot of demand and people not selling, price go up. That's all that is, pure economics. Also, let's take a quick listen here to our boy Dave Portnoy.
We should just shut up and bought Bitcoin. Just shut up and bought Bitcoin, forget everything else, and bank. I mean, it is rip, roaring, ripping. Bitcoin ripping. ETH is up 100% in 3 months. XRP is ripping. You name it, it's rip, rip, rip.
So this guy he's big in pop culture. He understands. He got burnt last time with last bull cycle with Safe Moon and all of that. But pop culture is getting into it. That's the start of the FOMO. He starts talking about it. Very famous. A lot of people follow him. His every move. I mentioned in a couple of videos I had ago that Drake had a new song, kind of in response to Kendrick Lamar and all the people that were bashing him. And in one of his lyrics, one of the bars, he said, he mentioned BTC. So it's starting to trickle. And I bring this up just to let you know we're on the verge of something crazy, and I'm very excited about it. Also, Marty Party posted this. This is Bitcoin's distribution, 21 million tokens. What I want you to focus on is it's not full 21 million available. A lot of those tokens are lost. According to this chart, 17.6% of all Bitcoin has been lost, whether it be someone lost their seed phrase, whether it be someone passed away unexpectedly, gone, can't be replaced. And then you see the breakdown there of everyone else that has, accumulation of Bitcoin. This is a very, very scarce asset. Now, let's get into some alts. ETH has been on a rise lately, and it's not coincidence. BlackRock has been buying ETH. They have a spot ETF, obviously ETH does, and BlackRock has been buying it like it's going out of style recently. And we look here, you just see since July 9th, they've really increased their holdings. So July 9th, 158 million, July 10th, 300 million, and then July 11th, 137 million. So let's see what happens today as far as how much they've been accumulating. But they're not alone. You have other spot ETFs also. Fidelity bought a little bit last week, 29.5, 37.3. They're the main ones buying at the time. So let's see. Looking at this chart here, we see Grayscale is also accumulating. I don't know why, but it looks like everyone's been increasing their holdings starting July 9th. It's just been consistent. Even Grayscale, 18 million, 20 million, then 25.5 million. Could we be on the start of something where ETH is starting to blow up and then it's going to be followed by the alts? I don't know. According to Arkham, this account bought 111 million ETH in the past 3 days. And those dates I was talking about, July 9th, 10th, blah. He is already up over 10 million. And that's that address there. Doesn't look like he's selling either. So I don't know. All the ETH bag holders that, people were saying ETH is dead and everything like that. This is your time to shine. This is good stuff. But I think if ETH goes up, it's going to help the entire market, not just ETH. Also, this is an article I saw here in Daily Hodl where they talked about, these treasury companies, people trying to follow Metal Planet and MicroStrategy. And there's some other companies. But I want to talk about one in particular that is going into ETH. And the company is called Bitmine Immersion, announced that they will be purchasing ETH. And right now their ETH holdings, or they want to increase it to about 500 million. So that is good. There's another company called Sonnet Biotherapies, New Jersey-based medical firm, has nothing to do with crypto, but they want to start accumulating hype. Interesting. A lot of these companies just buying crypto left and right. So I think the alts that are really going to pop off this cycle are going to be the ones that have the spot ETFs and that have treasury companies like this. Solana has a few. I think XRP has a couple. So these are the companies you want to look for. At least this is what I'm going to be looking for as far as my alts go. So this is very positive news. Also, Solana ETF approved in 2025. We just saw how good ETH's been doing lately. Solana's right on the coattails and is going to happen as well. I love Solana. It's my favorite L1. If you look at the metrics, it does everything ETH does. The numbers are even higher than ETH. The only thing Solana trails ETH in is TVL. Everything else, Solana beats it. And it's only a matter of time before the world recognizes it. And I like Solana better than ETH because whenever I use Solana, it's very easy user experience. It's quick, I like it. When I'm dealing with ETH, it's clunky. And especially now, with it being so popular, I'm sure the gas fees are hella expensive just to use it. Solana, I don't have to deal with any fees, any gas fees, or anything like that. It's just an easier experience. You add all that together, I think that Solana will pop off at the end of this year at some point. But Polymarket says that there's greater than 99% chance that a Solana ETF, spot ETF, will be approved in 2025. So that is good. So just looking at altcoins to see if we're in altcoin season, we are not there yet because you can see here is like negative 87. So still Bitcoin season, obviously. But when altcoin season hits, it's going to be beautiful. Past 90 days, the alt that's been killing it is Pinju, meme coin on Solana. And then you have Mog, another meme. Then you have Hype up 211%. Back to Pinju, it's up 550%, y'all. That is crazy. But Hype is doing well. You see Whiff 156. So it looks like the memes are starting to come back as well. That's another catalyst for altcoin season. You add Bitcoin all-time high, then you have ETH starting to pop off, then you have people coming back into memes. And when I say people, I mean retail. That's how things start going crazy. So just get a position now, still DCA, because I think we still have some room to go, especially the ones I talked about, spot ETF, alts that have treasuries, and then just retail FOMO with these memes. I think that's what's going to happen. But if you look at the top, it looks like it's all the memes that are doing well. Aave did well. You have Bonk at 125. Say's one that I've been looking at. I made a video yesterday about that, up 95% for the past 3 months. Sui up 82%. Floki, another meme, up 78%. Pepe, another meme, up 74%. So that's what's killing it right now as far as altcoins go. But just in a matter of time, guys, things are going to be lovely, 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 lovely. So we got crypto week. Let's see what happens with the Genius Act. I hope it passes. Can't wait to see what happens with Bitcoin this week. A lot of good things happening. And we're only in July. 2025 should be exciting year, guys. Very, very exciting. So that's my video for today. Until next time, talk to you later. Bye.